Hi, I'm Christine Livingston, and I'm really delighted to be talking to Nick Williams today.
Hi. Good to be with you.
And you? How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah.
Nick, one of the last times we were talking, you were talking about this whole service that you're bringing to the world, Inspired Entrepreneurs. What I'm really keen to talk to you about today is your own inspiration for that, and kind of get underneath that a bit more. Can you share some of that with us?
Yeah, it really feels like it's my, I suppose I would call it my purpose at this point in my life, to create something bigger than me. I've probably spent some of my life kind of just doing things for me, and I suppose as I'm getting a bit older now, it's like I want to do something beyond just myself. So it's a platform for me to speak and run workshops on, but it's also a platform to really bring other people's voices and talent and energy into, but also to create community. Because I think there really is a sea change going on in the world around work, around kind of spiritual awareness and personal growth. And not much of it is focused around specifically work.
Yeah.
A lot of personal growth is around just general personal growth, but for me, the Inspired Entrepreneur is a great way of using work and business as your vehicle for your own personal spiritual growth and evolution.
Yeah.
And to me, that's exciting.
Yeah.
If it's, in a way, I suppose I'm an advocate of your work being a canvas for your own soul's expression, if you like. And your own business is the vehicle for your own soul's expression. So to me, it's just such an exciting thing to be able to do. Scary at times, because it really exposes you in the world. But I love doing that, and I've loved doing that for myself for the last 20 years. And so I am creating and will continue to create this community of like-minded souls to bring in other people's talent, but also just to connect people up as friends and collaborators.
And central to the whole idea, I'm thinking, is this whole energy of inspiration, which, if I can just share, is something I've very much experienced from you over 10 years, but in different guises.
Yeah.
And it's taking a new form for you now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm a great believer that when you're inspired, it puts you on an evolutionary path. So, what inspired me 20 years ago is not what inspires me today. And to some extent, I have to keep trusting that I'm just being led forward by my own sense of inspiration. And I'll give you a couple of lines from one of my favourite quotes. It says, "When you're inspired by some great purpose, all your thoughts break your bonds, your mind expands, and your consciousness expands in every direction. You discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be." That comes from Patanjali, who wrote that over 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
So I think there's something amazing about inspiration. We tend to think of inspiration as like, oh, I had a good idea, I had an inspired idea, and that's one aspect. But I'm a believer that when you're kind of inspired, it's about connecting you into your soul, and that will evolve you for the rest of your life. So yes, for me, behind all that I do, I've got to feel truly inspired about it, and I want to share that with other people. And I guess one of the ways I see inspiration is like, I try to keep my own fire alight, and then try and light the fire in other people, and vice versa, so that we're all kind of keeping the light alive and lighting more lights.
And how do you keep your own light alive?
I'm a passionate kind of reader. I love personal growth, so sometimes it's about my own evolution. So a couple of things I do, the things I love reading, I love going on workshops, I love other people's wisdom, so I'm always immersing myself in other people's inspiration to keep myself alive and alight. But probably the biggest thing that keeps me inspired is just to keep pioneering myself. I do believe in a soul, I suppose, and when I've got the courage to listen to it, I always know what my soul wants me to do next, or what I'm called to do next. And often I go, no, too big, too scary, I can't do that, it must be for somebody else. But I know by now that I've got to come back to that and go, okay, so now I know what's next. So one of the ways I keep myself inspired is just to keep pioneering. So one of the things I talk about, and it's a kind of an unusual idea for many people, is be a source of inspiration to ourselves. I'm sure you must have inspired yourself by your journey in the last 10 years.
Sure.
And when on a good day, when I can look back on my journey and my continuing journey, I go, wow.
Yeah, but isn't that funny? We're not really encouraged to do that, are we?
No, we tend to think, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, or whatever,
Yeah,
they're inspirations.
Yeah.
I think all of us can be inspirations to each other.
Yeah.
But I also think all of us can be inspirations to ourselves.
Yes.
When we follow our own authentic life path.
Yeah. And do you have any advice to give to people around how they can be that source of inspiration for themselves?
Number one, to listen to your, deepest wisdom.
Yeah.
Whatever you call that, your higher self, your soul, your heart, to me it doesn't matter what you call it, but listen to what you are being prompted to be and do. Mm-hmm. So number one, listen to it. Number two, recognise that you are probably going to experience resistance around that. I didn't, when I was selling computers up the road here 20 odd years ago, I didn't go, oh yes, I'm going to leave the corporate world and start writing books and start training and giving talks. Yes, the world's really ready for me and I'm ready for it. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Crapping myself. I think, well, who's ever going to listen to me? I'm a computer salesman from Essex. Can't even keep myself inspired for more than 10 minutes, let alone inspire other people. Yeah, all that stuff. Who am I to do it? Yeah. So, listen to your voice, know that you're going to experience resistance, and I think the real inspiration bit is to take even tiny steps in the face of the resistance and the fear. Don't wait until that subsides, because if you wait until it subsides, you're probably going to have a very long weight on your hands. Yeah. So be willing to take little steps, and I'm a great advocate of baby steps, so just take regular little steps in the pursuit of your heart and your dreams and your purpose.
Yeah. And do you celebrate your small successes?
On a good day, yes. And there's still a voice in me that says I'm never doing enough and all the rest of it. But yes, and for me, another way I keep myself inspired is I do try and take time out and take kind of holidays and breaks to reflect. I'm somebody who really needs to take a lot of time to reflect. I love being busy, and then I love being not busy. Yeah. So it's having that time to reflect and integrate as well. Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best with your Inspired Entrepreneur Club. I think it's awesome.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for the chat.
Great pleasure. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it helpful.